Thank you for turning to page 121. Welcome back to page 121. Today I'm going to do another review of a Spellfire deck I've built. This deck was a bit of an experiment, just trying some different things that I hadn't had in a lot of other decks. So it's performed pretty well. It still needs a little bit of tweaking, but I thought I'd show it today. Again, our Spellfire decks consist of 56 cards. Since we don't use a dungeon card in the standard manner, we use it as an event or as a realm. We go ahead and just add it as the 56th card to the deck. So this deck totals 56 cards, and here we go. First, I'm going to start with the realms. The realms number 12. So, first realm I have, one of my favorites, Furiandi. When first played, you can remove any wizard from play. We play this the first time it's put down. It cannot be rebuilt and use the power again. Next, Temple of Elemental Evil. What's not to love? Draw 3 cards immediately when played. Again, you can't reuse this power if it's rebuilt. The Vesvi Forest. I just have this in here because we've been tending to have a lot of swimmers in our game lately. And any attached magic items subtract 2 levels. So it forbids swimmers and takes a couple of levels away if they have attached magic items. Dragon's Refuge. If the dragon is defeated in combat, opposing dragon is defeated in combat, I can attach the dragon to this realm as an ally. It works level only, but it's pretty sweet. You get to keeps dragons from coming at you. The Lost City. This shows up in a lot of my decks. It's an AD&D realm. As I've said before, we use AD&D realms as kind of wild cards. They can be in any universe's realms or realms of any deck. And this one cannot be attacked by flyers or swimmers, and only the AD&D champions can attack this realm. Champions of the worlds cannot attack. Great lead realm. The Runes of Iolonia. This, if you'll notice, is actually a typo card. This card is a Ravenloft card, but for some reason, during some of the prints of the dungeon set, they forgot to put the Ravenloft logo on it. I have both versions of the card. I like to throw this into my decks as a wild card. We treat it as an AD&D card. And the realm is so forlorn, only undead champions and allies will attack it. Another great lead realm. Lost Caverns of Socanth, however you say that. Can't be attacked by flyers or swimmers, and defenders of this realm are immune to offensive spells. Very useful. Cleric of High Magics. This is the dungeon card in this set. I can keep a spell book, and you'll see why that's important to this deck. Each time I cast a spell, each time entitled to draw Spoils of Victory, I can instead search through my draw pile, retrieve any spell. The spell cannot be played immediately. Very important to this deck. Parent Land. Maximum hand size for all opposing players reduced by 1. This makes this realm a very high priority for destruction. The Lost City. Cannot be attacked by flyers or swimmers. Oh, wait. Do I have this in here twice? I sure do. This deck's technically illegal. That's an error on my part. White Plume Mountain. Players attacking this realm must discard a card from their hand each round of battle. Almost nobody attacks this realm. And the Omenry I just threw in here because we were getting close to game time. I didn't have a special power on this one, so I'll be replacing it. And I'll be replacing my accidental duplication of the Lost City. I'm still going to present this, even though it's a flawed deck. I'm still going to present it because the core idea stays intact. Okay, I only have one holding in this deck. I'm not a huge holding guy. I don't like to see a realm get destroyed and a holding to go with it. But this holding is wonderful. The Village of Hamlet. The attached realm must be raised twice during one player's turn to earn Spoils of Victory. The holding is not discarded till the realm is raised twice. Very, very good card against attack. Good lead card, or good card to put on a lead realm. My next, a very unusual move for me. I only have one ally in this deck, and this is the Myrmidons. When the Myrmidons are discarded, their player shuffles all discards back in your draw pile. Again, very important to this deck, and I'll show you why in a moment. Here come the spells. I have 10 pre-spells in this deck. First, of course, is Mind Shatter. You may notice again, this is just a copy. We allow copies as long as they're legible. Mind Shatter, attached to an enemy champion or pool. Champion becomes catatonic and cannot take any action until the spell is discarded. Or dispelled. It's just a fun card. Dispel Magic, don't leave home without it. And I've said before in my videos, we allow a Dispel Magic to dispel magic. So it's a lot of fun. You can have a Dispel Magic, Dispel Magic, Dispel Magic, Dispel Magic, Dispel Magic event. Sorry, event's the wrong word. Curse Glyph. Hide under a lead realm. Exposed when the realm is attacked, only one glyph can be placed under a realm. It's discarded after one use. Attacking champion with attached magic item is defeated. In this case, because he's put forward as he attacks and battle's not joined, he's actually just sent back defeated. But having a glyph for anything under a lead realm makes people very, very cautious about attacking it. Intercession. I can cancel a Just Played event with this card. Very useful. Lots of events at our table. We usually play about a 5-handed game, as I've said before. There's usually about 5 to 6 players in the game. Events fly fast and thick. Creeping Doom immediately raises one realm with no holding, and you can cast an offensive 3 and still attack in 4. Good card. Ward of Peace. This is from the 4th edition set. Very useful. It sets up a separate player's pool. It sets it up as a level 8 hero in a pool all by himself. So if you want to throw that death spell at one of my 5th level characters in my pool, you first have to get through this, which adds its own pool and must be attacked first. Now this can be dumped with a Dispel Magic spell or a Wish, but it's still a nice card to have in your deck. Dispel. Cast at any time. Cancel the effects of an existing or just cast spell, blood ability, or psionic power card. Very useful. Mind Killer, another copy. Caster sends one champion to the abyss or send one avatar to limbo. The avatar remains in limbo to the end of the player's next turn. Really good spell. Raise Dead. Any one defeated champion can be selected from the player's discard pile and placed back in his hand. This is a useful card. It can be cast into phase 3 or 5, but he has to be a defeated champion. In other words, he has to have lost a battle. He can't have been discarded through card play like a death spell. So it becomes a little tricky to remember that as you're trying to resurrect somebody. You have to kind of remember how he got to the discard pile in the first place. Sunray. We have a lot of undead in our game. Sunray kills all undead in one player's pool. Okay. Again, 10 cards. This time, wizard spells. Our old friend Wish. Discard any card except a realm. No immunities to it. It's a very useful card. Another Dispel Magic, because if you can't cast the Cleric one, maybe you can cast the Wizard one. Spell Turning. Turn a just cast offensive spell back upon its original owner. Now, I want to point out one thing. A Wish spell is an offensive spell. This can be turned by a Spell Turning. Fear. Attached to any enemy in a pool. That champion cannot attack or defend until the fear is dispelled. Any powers that activate because you have X number of champions in the pool or anything, we don't allow if there's somebody in the pool, but they are disabled by a fear or other type of card. Disintegrate. Destroys one realm regardless of position. Destroyed realm must be discarded. Player can make no attacks this turn. Excellent card if you don't have an opportunity to attack this round anyway. Tachesis Abyssal Gateway. Forces any champion in the pool to the abyss. The champion is removed from the game. Please note again, this is an offensive spell, so it can be turned back on you, but still great to have. Limited Wish. Cancel the effects of any event card. We play that this cancels the entire event card, so you can actually cancel the event card that affects multiple players. Retarget. Can retarget a just cast offensive or defensive spell to any card in play. This spell can be cast at any time, so you can cast this into somebody else's combat, for instance, or not on your turn. Otto's Irresistible Dance. Cast any champion in a pool, he cannot attack or defend until the dance is dispelled. Again, we don't count him as actually having any presence in the pool for any active powers that activate if you have so many adventurers in the pool or things like that. And Time Stop. Take any one wizard spell from your draw pile and play it immediately if legal. Then reshuffle the draw pile. This is useful because it's any one wizard spell. So if you need to get that wish out, it's a great way to do it. I personally enjoy having this spell because it opens up a lot of versatility for your deck, and this is a very spell-heavy deck. It's also event-heavy. There are 10 events in this. I was just kind of going with the theme here. Calm, of course, undoes the harmful effects of a harmful event, but only for you. Temporal Stasis. I can play this in a multiplayer game to prevent one player's turn. We play that you must, when you get 6 realms, you have to go around the table the full time with all 6 of your realms uncracked. You could actually play a temporal stasis to skip the player's turn when they're about to win, and they have to survive all around the table one more time. Takesis, Mirror of Life Trapping. Place an 8 champion. That card is out until Dispel Magic is cast on it. Actually, a calm would work on this as well as we allow it because it is an event. Cataclysm. Destroys one realm of the player's choice. That realm is discarded. Oh, must have. Tree of Life. Play this event after another one has been played. This player can retrieve all champions in his discard pile to his pool. Now, these are all champions, and it's after one is played. So you can actually play an event and then play Tree of Life. Trapped. This shows up in a lot of my decks. Play an opposing player's champion who can do nothing until this event is negated. A trapped champion remains in his pool while imprisoned. Deflection. I can deflect a harmful event affecting only me onto another player. Like, I don't know, say a trapped. Dispel All. Play to cancel a just played support card. This event may not be copied. There's some debate as to whether an ally can be dispelled with this because he is a support card. For the moment, we have ruled that allies do fall under this, but there's a strong faction in our group that says that that's wrong. So that ruling may change later. Slave Revolt. All opposing players must discard one champion from their pool, chosen by the guy who throws this event. Very useful event. And a calm will only work for the player who throws the calm. They would need a limited wish, or they could use a wish to get rid of it. And Tyranthraxis, the Possessing Spirit. Play an opposing champion, who then becomes a monster able to cast wizard spells. Champion remains in control of the event player until canceled. So very useful events there. Very nasty. And now finally, we're up to the champions. One thing that all of these champions have in common is that they can all cast both wizard and cleric spells. A lot of these are fan cards off the internet. I purposely went for ridiculously powerful cards. I have Melf, Prince Brightflame. I'm not going to read his whole thing here, but he is just really good because he can cast wizard and cleric spells. Luturios, he can cast wizard and cleric spells. He's known as Wolf. If he raises a realm, I can choose to retrieve a non-realm card from my discard pile as spoils instead of drawing normal spoils of victory. Again, I can get a champion back if I need to. Marsala can cast wizard spells. 4th level, and wizard who can cast cleric spells, my misspeak. He may be sent to the void to cast a spell twice. Both are cast at the same time. When this ability is used, send this player's foremost realm to the abyss. It's a high price, but you can cast a wish twice. So you could eliminate 2 cards off the table in one shot with this guy. Meldrade Dior, Great Blue Worm, however you say that, 9th level wizard, who can also cast any spell. Phase 4 spells cast by him during combat are shuffled back into the draw pile instead of discarded. If you're seeing a theme that I'm recycling a lot of champions and spells, yes, that's the theme of this deck. The Lich Conclave is here because they can cast wizard and cleric spells. All allies played with it become undead. Lord Gellar the Bard. This guy's from the Gore the Rogue novels. I enjoy Lord Gellar in those. He can cast wizard and cleric spells. He also is he's a thief. He can inspire allies with him to gain 4 levels. And he can see offensive cards about to be played against him, allowing him to discard a card from his hand or pool to avoid the effects. Tyvorg, the Frost Giant, can cast. He's a priest, but he can cast wizard spells. He slays the living wall when first brought into play. Useful card to have. This also is a fan card from the Inquisition set. Elf can cast wizard spells. If she raises a realm, this player can choose to retrieve any and play a non-realm card from his discard pile instead of taking normal spoils. So again, a recycling. Amish Nick. This is kind of a... I'm still looking for a way to replace this guy, but he can cast wizard spells. He's a 5th level priest. Immune to the powers of all cards from card sets after Forgotten Realms. We actually have disallowed his verbiage. We only allow that and the fact that he can cast wizard spells. Louth, the Spider Queen. She's a 9th level monster who can cast Wizard and Cleric spells. If she's defeated, shuffle her back into the draw deck, part of the recycle. Atu can cast Wizard and Cleric spells, 6th level wizard. And then James T. Kirk. This card was actually made by one of my players who's rather skilled. This is Kirk from the Enterprise Incident episode of Star Trek when he's disguised as a Romulan. We use this picture because Kirk is a half-elf. He goes as an 8th level thief. He's a teleporter. He can use unarmed combat cards and cast any spells. During battle, Kirk may strip any champion of one attached magic item and use it for himself. If Kirk is defeated, the stolen item is discarded. Kirk is based on one of my favorite characters, probably my most successful character. Kirk is actually over 40 years old and has been played in my campaign consistently since 1980. He is an assassin and a very successful assassin. He's played in many, many games. And so one of my players went ahead and made me a card for him. So there you have it. That's a quick overview of a deck. The theme of the deck is obviously recycling. I want to recycle. I want to eliminate a lot of cheap shot stuff in here to eliminate. A lot of cheap shot stuff to take champions out of pools. And a lot of ways to recycle spells. So I'm not only looking to recycle Wish. I could recycle Mind Shatter, Dispel All. There's 20 spells in this deck. And then 10 nasty events. My players actually don't like this deck, and I'm probably going to be disassembling it because the couple of times I've played it, the chief complaint is that it was ridiculous, it was overpowered, it should be illegal, and they don't want to see it on the table no more. So this deck will be going away in its form, and since I have an error in it anyway, I'm just as glad. I only played it twice in this form, so the fact that I have an error card in there, it just isn't that big a deal. So to everybody I played against with this deck, whoops, sorry. But this is an example of a deck that, in a lot of opinions, including mine, is way too overpowered and way too specialized in ruining everybody else's fun. So, how to do that? This deck. I will be disassembling this deck in the near future and recycling a lot of the cards. So maybe I'll show that one in a future video. So that's it for today from page 121. If you have any comments or questions, please go ahead and post them in the comments below. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to the page. Thanks for watching. Well, that closes the book on another episode of page 121. Please leave your comments below, and if you enjoyed what you saw, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.